Here he comes. I heard him, before I ever saw him. It was that newborn cry that hit me like a ton of bricks, and in a moment, in a flash, I was just in love. It washed over me, and it was the most fleeting moment of my life because I heard a cry, and then I heard nothing. My wife and I, we'd been at the hospital for 42 hours at that point, 43 hours before we were at her final OBGYN appointment, and the doctor accidentally broke her waters and said, okay, you got to go to the hospital now, you're going to be parents. And we're like, all right, here we go, let's do this. And we're texting, family and our closest friends, telling them that this is it, here we go. 42 hours is a long time, right? That's days. So we're getting lots of texts throughout the moment, like, oh, this is still going on, and you guys are going for a record, and you can still back out now, don't worry. But we're on this road, we're going to do this. And we're told eventually that it's not going to happen naturally, right? She's been pushing for too long, he's not going to come, so it's got to be a C-section. Okay, that's not the plan, but let's go. However we get this kid into the world, that's what we're going to do. So they take her to the OR, and I follow slowly or shortly behind. And when I get in there, there's a sheet that blocks your view of the surgery because they don't want the people on the other end passing out, which I'm sure I would have. I hadn't slept for 40 some odd hours at that point. So that's why I heard him before I ever saw him. And I heard that cry, right? And it's like he's not a concept anymore. He's like a member of the world. His name is Everett, and I'm a dad, and Rachel's a mom. And and I didn't know a lot about babies at that point because I'd never really been around one. I'd been one, but it'd been a long time. So when he stopped crying, I clocked it immediately. It's like there shouldn't be silence. And before they say anything, they take him over to the newborn table or whatever it's called, I don't know. And they're surrounding him. And there are these red lights flashing, and I'm craning my neck trying to see, but all I see are those red lights, so I have to turn away. I can't look at it anymore because now my joy is being filled by terror, and my wife is asking me what's going on. And I can't say anything. I can't. It's the first time in my life with her that I couldn't comfort her because I couldn't admit what was going on because it was too hard. So I had to shove it down and I didn't look at her, and I just shrugged my shoulders. After what seemed like an eternity, they called me over and they start talking to me, and it's like the Peanuts, adults, and it's just wah, 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 wah. And within that, as I'm seeing the tube in his throat and they're manually pumping the oxygen into him, I hear that his heart rate dropped and he had stopped breathing. And I get to reach out, and he grasps my fingers, so there's life. And they take him over to my wife, and she gets to kiss him on the forehead, and then he's gone. And then they take me out of the room because I have to finish up the surgery, and I am by myself in this waiting room. And I'd been by myself a lot of times in my life, but that's the loneliest I've ever felt. Because I didn't have my wife, I didn't have my son, and I had no idea what was going on. And I get a text, my phone vibrates, and I take it out and I look at it, and it's my cousin, and she's written the word so, ... She's what's going on? And I can't acknowledge it. I shove it back down. I had envisioned that I would proclaim it from the rooftops, and now I'm denying that it's happening at all. Within a half hour, she's back out, and I'm saying words. I found my voice again, it's going to be okay, and it's fine. And I'm just lying to myself because I don't know what's going on, and I'm terrified, but I can't acknowledge that. Within a couple hours, I'm finally allowed to go see him, and I'm by myself again. I go to the NICU, and he's in this bubble, and he's got everything attached to him. He's on this ventilator, and it's making his little body shake. And I'm holding it together the whole time until the doctor asks if I would like to take a picture. And in that moment, I envisioned all the things that I'd wanted to do. I wanted to cut the cord. I wanted to have the skin to skin. And I wanted his first picture to be with his mom. And his first picture was going to have to be on this ventilator. And I broke down. Every artifice that I put us in front of me, it washed over me. And I sobbed. I broke down on the ground. And that was 9 years ago. And I still carry that. My son, he's found his breath. He's healthy. He's here. But I do realize that in some ways my first act as a father was denial. But my first lesson was that it's okay to acknowledge my feelings, and when I do, I am a better father and I am a better man. And I have my son to thank for that. And that's the same lesson I hope to teach my son as well. Thank you.
Ian. Another round of applause for Ian.